Well, Brian Parker from the CFMEU has just been in talks with St Hilliers. He's been told the construction company is viable. Brian joins me now. Brian, tell us what's happened in this meeting this morning.
Well, the meeting was pointed out to me that the problems down in Victoria, but it also related to me that the company seems to be viable. That's what Tim Casey tells me, the owner of St Hilliers. He sees that they can trade their way out of this. It's a matter of operation for the company, that they put the company in administration this morning. At this point in time, we've been able to talk to a number of the subcontractors and direct employees of the company, and what he tells me seems to be true, that they're being paid up for their current monthly instalments in subcontractors.
Because there seemed to be some question mark over that. I know I've heard on radio this morning some subcontractors turning up to work this morning and thinking they might have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but from what you know at this stage, it seems that subcontractors will not be out of pocket.
Well, he tells me that they're being paid up for their usual progress monthly payment. This month hasn't been paid. Employees are being paid up today of their full entitlement at this period of time, not in terms of what they've got accumulation of annual leave and other entitlements, although he says to me that it's all viable and it all hinges on the fact that they're able to convince the state government on the 13 projects that they're currently doing for the Department of Housing.
This is the New South Wales state government?
This is the New South Wales state government. New South Wales state government hinges in the balance of the fact if they're going to allow the company to continue on tendering. They say they've got a viable operation. They say that they can continue on in work in this state and other states and complete those works, but it all hinges on the fact the state government allows them to do that.
Right. So just paint the picture for us. How big an operator is St Hilliers Construction? How many projects are they involved in now that have come to a standstill in, I don't know if you can talk about the whole of Australia, but New South Wales?
Well, I know in New South Wales they definitely got 13 projects currently with the Department of Housing, and also they've got another 5 projects with private contractors or private developers. They've also got a number of 4 or 5 projects in ACT. They have at least 2 projects in Queensland and obviously the project in Victoria. So they're a very big operation, and if they go down here, it's going to have a major effect upon the economy in New South Wales, there's no doubt.
And these are not small projects we're talking about?
They're certainly not small projects, they're rather large projects.
And has work on all of them come to a stop this morning?
Every project has come to a stop. They've put security guards on every particular site. They're saying to contractors, yes, you can get your tools out, please don't take the materials. Workers take your belongings, but unfortunately that they've, under instructions by their administrator, they've got all their sites locked up with security guards.
So subcontractors have turned up for work this morning and just been locked out, and they didn't know this was coming, or there had been a slight indication that this was a possibility?
I think that contractors with their ear close to the ground knew that they were in trouble in the project in Victoria, but they did know this was coming. I met with all the subcontractors and workers on their site on the corner of Elizabeth Street and King Street in the city this morning. I had a meeting with them and we discussed the issue there about where it's all up to. Hopefully that the government can sit down and assist in the process of getting this company out of the problems that they've got.
So even if they're able to continue work on these projects and the company does get back up and running again, there's that disruption from today, and who knows how long this is going to take to sort out.
Well, that's right. It's going to take a while to sort out. I know that the meeting with the government is not until after midday tomorrow at some time, and hopefully that they can persuade the government that they're a viable operation, because obviously the effects on the small subcontractors, who are really small Australian businesses, and with workers, is probably going to cost the state economy a lot of money. And obviously Barry O'Farrell doesn't need it at the moment with the amount of companies that are going broke in our industry, the job losses that have taken place throughout all the industries in New South Wales. This will just add to the tally, and I think it's getting up around about the 5,000 mark in terms of jobs that have been lost in this state so far in the last couple of months.
So as far as you're concerned, it's up to Barry O'Farrell to make this decision tomorrow. What's your call on Barry O'Farrell right now?
Well, if I'm led to believe what Tim Casey is telling me is true, the company has got a viable operation, and I think they can trade their way through it, and I think that it'll help the state of the economy in New South Wales. So You know, I can't tell Barry O'Farrell what to do, but what I can say to Barry O'Farrell is please look at all the dynamics of what their business is about. They've been around for a long period of time. They're really an iconic builder in New South Wales, and I tend to think that if Barry O'Farrell can assist in this process, they're not asking for money. They're just asking to make sure they can continue on trading. If that's the case, well, I think we can get them through this issue.
What about the project in Victoria? That's a huge project at the Ararat prison. What are you hearing about the likelihood of that proceeding if the New South Wales government decides to continue with these 13 projects to talk about here? Does that mean that the Ararat prison project will continue as well?
No, definitely not. I think it's the way it's been explained to me, it's a completely separate entity. They've gone in with a joint venture from another major construction company from New Zealand. Over the top of that is the Commonwealth Bank and some other venture that is part of it with the government. They tell me that the government pulled $20 million out of the project, and that's created the issue to collapse. So the whole project down there has collapsed. It's a separate entity. It seems to be that, if I'm led to believe what is true from Tim Casey, is that they will survive on every other project, but it all hinges on the fact that Barry O'Farrell can allow them to operate on all the projects in New South Wales.
Okay, let's hope for the subbies' sake that something is worked out.
Well, certainly for the subbies and also the workers. It's vitally important.
Yeah. Okay, Brian Parker, thanks very much for that.
Thank you.